Imagine an animal so prized that we nearly ate it off the planet, and then somehow brought it back. For decades, green sea turtles were a symbol of everything going wrong in the oceans. Today, they've been officially taken off the global endangered list. On paper, that sounds like a happy ending, but the real story of how they got there, and what could still go wrong, is way more dramatic than most people realize. For a long time, green turtles were less sea creature and more menu item. Their rich meat and fat were turned into luxury turtle soup. Their eggs were collected by the sackful from nesting beaches and sold as delicacies. In many places, if you saw a turtle crawl up on the sand at night, you didn't think miracle of nature. You thought money. Add in boats, nets, and a growing global appetite, and you get an animal that was simply worth more dead than alive. The problem wasn't just that we were taking a lot of turtles. It was that green turtles live life in slow motion. They can take 2 to 4 decades just to reach adulthood. Females don't nest every year, and when they do, most of their tiny hatchlings are doomed even under natural conditions. On top of that, they return to the same beaches over and over again. Once people figured that out, nesting sites became predictable hunting grounds. Every stage of their life, egg on the beach, hatchling sprinting to the surf, juvenile foraging in seagrass beds, adult migrating thousands of miles, ran into nets, hooks, lights, bulldozers, and hunters. By the late 20th century, many famous turtle beaches that once hosted thousands of nests were eerily quiet. That's when the world finally slammed on the brakes. In the 1970s and 80s, as environmental awareness exploded, green turtles began to get the kind of legal backup they'd never had before. They were listed under the U.S. Endangered Species Act. International trade in their meat and products was effectively banned. Country after country declared it illegal to harvest turtles or raid their nests. Marine protected areas and no fishing zones sprouted around critical feeding grounds and nesting beaches. Suddenly, there were laws saying these animals belonged to everyone, not just whoever got to them first with a knife. But laws on paper don't keep poachers off a moonlit beach. For that, you need boots in the sand. Around the world, a quieter revolution took off. Night patrols began walking nesting beaches, not to collect eggs, but to guard them. Conservation teams and local volunteers learned to move doomed nests away from eroding shorelines and flood zones. Some places set up hatcheries to boost survival, carefully incubating eggs, and then releasing armies of hatchlings into the surf. Coastal towns started tackling bright beachfront lighting, so baby turtles would crawl toward the glow of the horizon instead of getting lost in the parking lot of a resort. As these changes settled in, some places saw something incredible: turtles coming back to beaches where they were almost gone. In parts of Florida and Brazil, nest counts rose from just a handful to thousands a year. Remote islands that had seen more footprints than flipper tracks began to glow green again in satellite images as adult females returned. On Rain Island in Australia, the world's largest green turtle rookery, teams literally reshaped beaches and relocated nests to stop eggs from drowning and to try to cool the sand so not every hatchling is born female. These weren't symbolic gestures, they were surgical repairs to the most vulnerable part of the turtle life cycle. Out at sea, another major battle was raging. Inside the nets of industrial fishing fleets, shrimp trawlers used to act like rolling walls of death. Turtles caught in them simply couldn't reach the surface to breathe. Long-line fisheries threw out miles of baited hooks that snared turtles by accident. For a turtle, getting caught by mistake is still fatal. The fix, surprisingly, wasn't some expensive high-tech gadget. It was often just clever engineering. Turtle excluder devices, stout metal grates installed in nets, gave big animals like turtles an escape route while keeping shrimp in. Switching to different hook shapes and bait, and closing certain areas at certain times dramatically cut the chance of turtles being killed just for happening to be in the wrong patch of ocean. Then, something even more surprising happened. In many places, the people who once hunted turtles the hardest became their fiercest defenders. Community-based programs began paying locals not to raid nests, but to protect them. Former poachers started working as guides, taking visitors to watch nesting females under strict rules. Suddenly, a live turtle on the beach, visited again and again by tourists, was worth far more than a single meal. Schools and churches wove turtle protection into local identity and pride. International organizations provided training, equipment, and long-term funding. But it was local eyes and ears that really changed the game on the ground. All of this took time. green turtles don't respond to quick fixes. You can stop hunting them today and still not see the full effect until the babies born this year return to nest decades from now. But when that delayed wave finally hit, it hit hard. Global assessments began to show a clear upward trend. Nesting numbers soared at key sites, and overall population estimates climbed. In Florida alone, what used to be a few dozen nests in the 1980s became tens of thousands every year. In 2025, after tracking this long, slow rebound, the IUCN finally did something conservation biologists had been hoping for, but barely dared to expect. It reclassified green sea turtles from endangered to least concern on its global red list. On social media, that headline looked like a miracle. Green turtles no longer endangered, back from the brink. And in many ways, that's true. It's one of the clearest proof cases that intense, sustained conservation can work even for a slow-breeding, widely distributed animal. But here's the catch. Least concern doesn't mean problem solved. It means trending in the right direction for now. Dig into the details and you see the cracks. Some nesting beaches, especially in areas with weak law enforcement or high poverty, still lose huge numbers of eggs every year to poaching. Certain rookeries are actually trending down, despite the global feel-good story. In places like parts of Central America, turtles that survived a journey across the entire ocean can still be killed in the last few meters of their lives. Many national laws, including in the United States, still classify specific green turtle populations as threatened or endangered, because at that local scale, they're not out of danger at all. And then there are the new threats no one had on their radar back when turtle soup was the main problem. Fishing bycatch hasn't disappeared, it's just lower than before. Plastic pollution has turned the ocean into a minefield of bags and fragments that look to a grazing turtle a lot like jellyfish and algae. Coastal development is still eating away at nesting habitat. Climate change is quietly rewriting the rules of turtle reproduction because the sex of a hatchling depends on the temperature of the nest. On some overheated beaches, nearly every baby is hatching female. In the short term, turtle numbers can still climb, but decades from now, whole regions could run low on males. So what does it really mean that green sea turtles are no longer endangered? It means that for once, we didn't wait too long. It means laws, local communities, and stubborn scientists stuck with one species long enough to turn a free fall into a slow climb. It means beach patrols in the dark, weird metal grids in shrimp nets, and endless meetings about coastal zoning actually added up to something. It means a kid standing on a beach today has a much better chance of seeing a turtle heave herself out of the surf than a kid standing in the same spot 40 years ago. But it also means the story just moved into a new chapter. Now the danger isn't dramatic collapse, it's complacency. If we treat this as the finish line, the same forces that pushed turtles toward extinction once before, greed, short-term thinking, and the slow grind of climate change, can erase those gains in a single human lifetime. The comeback of the green sea turtle is one of the rare good news stories in a world full of warnings. It proves that when we decide a species matters, when we change the way we eat, fish, build, and vote, the ocean can respond. The question now is whether we'll use that lesson for other species still sliding toward the edge, or whether we'll treat this one success as a feel-good headline and move on. Because somewhere out there, right now, a female green turtle is pushing herself up a beach she almost lost, to lay eggs for a future that only exists because people finally chose to give her another chance. Whether that future keeps getting brighter or fades back into the dark is the part of the story we're still writing. If you want to see more about the progress we are, and aren't, making in conservation, be sure to subscribe to Animal Wanderings. Thanks for watching!